Hi guys, good morning at welcome sa second episode ng Daily Drayber. For today's video, pupunta tayo ng Makati para i-meet si Mike at ang kanyang 1980 Opel Rekord. Two things curious ako dito. Number one, meron pa palang Opel na tumatakbo. Number two, ang alam ko two doors lang to. So, ubusin ko lang yung kape ko, tas tara na. So guys, good morning. Now, nandito kami sa Makati. Kasama namin ngayon si Mike Gomez. Ang dala niya is yung kanyang Opel Rekord. Opel Rekord. Sige, Mike, para sa mga viewers na makakapanood nito in the future, first, pakikwento mo naman sa amin, paano kayo nag-start? Ano yung background ninyo?
Okay, in the 80s, my family, we had a family car which is a Opel Rekord, 1980. Okay, during those days, there was we used to manufacture Opel here. We had a plant here in I think somewhere in Laguna. Okay, so there were dealerships like Northern Motors, which was actually just a block away from our place, and my family decided to buy a unit. Okay, and of course it was a European car, no, very comparative to a Mercedes-Benz 123, but cheaper.
Hmm.
Okay, so we had one, and it was a car that was shared by the family. So us being three boys, we would share this car together. Okay, and then at that time, basically cars in the 80s were sold base model. Base model, when I say base model, they did not have mag wheels, aircon, a good stereo. So basically, you had to purchase all of these things. And, at the time, I didn't naman have money because I was still a student. I would save all of my baon to buy all of these accessories. In fact, uh, as I was saying, I want to buy a mag wheel, the original mag wheels of my Opel Rekord, in which it cost 16,000. But I didn't have money, so I went to my friend who was a parts guy in Northern Motors. I asked him if he can purchase for me a set of mag wheels from Germany, but I didn't. I told him I didn't have the money. So finally, he believed in me, so he ordered it for me, and slowly I paid him one by one, 4,000. After a few months, another 4,000. I completed the whole set. So my love for cars started from there. That's why. One, it was very expensive to have a Benz or a Mercedes, or BMW.
Hmm.
But the Opel was comparative to that. As I said, the suspension of the Opel was as good as a 123. Of course, at that time, I wanted to have a BM but wala, we couldn't afford one. So it was the Opel that we were able to get, in which I was so happy with it. I had friends who had one, and a particular friend of mine, had the ability to buy all of these original parts from Germany. So, I also wanted to do the same thing. So I saved up for it to buy all of these parts, and then I was able to complete the car with all of the accessories, headlight wipers, the original fog lights, the lip, and everything. So, you know, me saving up for this thing made me really love Opel. So that's why up to this day, there was a time na that I really wanted to, get back to the Opel because unfortunately, we sold it. I really wanted to, I was looking for our car again. Eventually, I was able to find one, but it wasn't our car.
Hmm.
It was a different one, but I have it now and I'm happy with it. Though it's a coupe, yeah. okay, I was asking a lot of people if they would know or hear of an Opel Rekord being sold, which is a green one, because my old one is a green one. I remember the plate number, pay 880. So I was asking, and someone told me, "Oh, Mike, there's a green Opel Rekord for sale. It might be yours." I mean, sorry, not for sale. It was parked somewhere in the south. Okay, so I said, "Can you find out all about it?" Okay. So he goes, okay. He goes back to me and tells me, "Mike, it's a green one, but it's a two-door." Two-door? I was telling you, I never heard of a two-door back then. I mean, in the 80s. So sabi niya, it's a two-door. Sabi ko, can you confirm? Take a picture of it. So, you know, while waiting for the picture, what I did is I already researched if there was a two-door that came out. And sure enough, there was. But it was in Germany, not here. So I told him, okay, I waited for him. He came back to me and showed me a picture. It was like a barn find. It was a two-door.
Hmm.
So he told me it wasn't running. So I told him, okay, can I go and see it? He goes, when do you want to see it? And I remember it was during the pandemic. I know it was, I think, the second lockdown na eh, which was going to happen the next day. I told him, let's go and see it today because tomorrow is going to be a lockdown and we can't anymore visit the car. So he goes, okay, let's go. So he told me to meet him in some village in the south. And then eventually I found out the car was parked in that same village in the south. Okay. Though when we entered the premises, the talahib was so high that I was, kind of worried that there might be a snake there. So eventually we worked our way to the car and there I found the car that it was just parked there for I think more than 10 years or something like that. So, I was just telling myself, wow, this is a two-door. So I think it's something that I should go for. And the car was fuel injected. All of the local cars that were sold here in Manila were carbureted.
Hmm.
So that was a drawback for me. But I was thinking naman na, with the internet around, bahala na si Batman,
Hmm.
as
Hmm.
I would say. So that's what happened. So I still purchased the car. I had to look for. I didn't have any history background with regards to the car in terms of why it wasn't running. So I had to work my way up by going from working on the fuel system to the electronics and all that stuff. And it was a learning curve for me because this car is, as I said, is fuel injected. It's not carbureted. And ordering parts from Germany would take you 3 weeks for it to arrive. So I ordered, kaya the computer box. Then later on, when I'm able to install that, I find out there's another igniter naman that I need to buy. Order it again, takes another 3 weeks. So that's why it lasted me about a year to finally make it run. But it was all worth it because, I was telling myself, why will I stop here? I'm already there.
Hmm.
Diba? Why will I go for, why will I change it to a carburetor? I'm already there. I already spent on it. Might as well fix it. For me, my way of thinking is fix it one time right. That's how I feel with cars, with old cars. Well, any car pala, sorry.
Hmm.
In the 80s, marami.
Hmm.
Because, as I said, the Opel back then was an in car to have. Because it was like a Mercedes-Benz or BMW, but yet cheaper. So a lot of people could afford it. So back then, yes, but now I don't think so because I think it's a dying breed right now. I mean,
Hmm.
that kind of ano. No? So, but then again, as I said, it's something that I enjoy still having and driving. I don't need to be fast or whatsoever. The important thing is I enjoy the car. That's the important thing. Well, here there are still a few um, shops that, well, dealers, accessory shop or dealers before that used to sell mga parts ng Opel in which siyempre new old stock din na nila nabenta kasi
Hmm.
nawala na eh, di
Hmm.
ba? So I would go, let's say sa Olympia in Quezon City, which Alan, he would still have a few parts, but marami na rin that you still have to look for abroad. So, as I said, with the internet now, you're able to get this abroad. Well, for me, a lot of people have this notion that old cars are all, negative. For me, it's not because, they are built, for me, they are built to last. As I said, as I was telling you earlier, you change your particular part, they last for 5 years, 8 years. Okay, unlike with the newer cars, they look nice in terms of what amenities they have. But the more amenities you have, the more breakdowns you'll have. The newer cars, they're more of after 3 years they break down. Unlike the older ones, they last a lot longer in terms of parts, and they're a lot cheaper.
A lot cheaper yung mga parts, ano?
Yeah. So the drawback there lang is finding the parts, diba? Pero as I said, with the internet now, it's so much easier. Unlike during my days in the 80s, I'd have to go to the dealership and go to the parts bin, and then at the same time use their microfiche to check on the parts that I wanted to order. That was really hard back then. If you don't know anyone from that part, who's going to make you enter their factory or whatever to show you all of these things? Wasn't allowed, diba? So that's why. So that's why with the older cars, wala namang ganun diba? So that's why I prefer older cars, honestly.